Long ago, in a quiet village nestled between whispering forests and fields of golden flax, there lived a poor girl who hated spinning. Whenever she sat before the spinning wheel, her heart grew heavy. The humming of the wheel sounded like a dreary song, and the endless twisting of flax into thread seemed to stretch on forever. No matter how much her mother scolded, begged, or threatened her, the girl simply could not bring herself to spin. Her mother, embarrassed by her daughter's laziness, often complained about it. One day, as fate would have it, the queen happened to pass by their humble cottage. Hearing loud cries from inside, she stopped and asked what was wrong. Ashamed to admit the truth, the mother quickly lied. "My daughter spins so beautifully," she said, "that she cannot stop. We are too poor to buy enough flax to satisfy her love for spinning." The queen's eyes sparkled with delight. "A girl who loves to spin?" she exclaimed. "Bring her to my castle. I have more flax than anyone could ever spin." The poor girl had no choice but to follow. The queen led her through towering halls until they reached a grand chamber filled from floor to ceiling with mountains of golden flax. Dust danced in the sunbeams pouring through the tall windows, making the room seem enchanted. "If you spin all of this into fine thread," the queen declared, "I shall reward you richly. You may even marry my eldest son and become a princess." The promise was dazzling, but the task was impossible. As soon as the heavy door closed behind the queen, the girl sank onto a stool and burst into tears. "I cannot spin even a little," she sobbed. "How could I ever finish all this?" She cried until evening shadows crept across the room. Then, from somewhere beyond the window, came 3 soft knocks. Knock, 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 she opened the door. Standing outside were 3 strange old women unlike anyone she had ever seen. The first had a broad, flat foot that looked as though it had been pressed beneath countless spinning wheels. The second had such an enormous lower lip that it drooped down over her chin. The third possessed a thumb so wide and twisted that it seemed almost as large as her fist. Though their appearances were odd, their eyes shone kindly. "Why are you crying, dear child?" they asked. The girl told them everything: the queen's impossible challenge, her mother's lie, and her fear of failing. The 3 women smiled knowingly. "We can help you," they said. "Leave the flax to us. But when your wedding day comes, invite us to the feast. Call us your cousins, seat us beside you at the royal table, and never be ashamed of us." Grateful beyond words, the girl eagerly agreed. Each night, while the castle slept beneath moonlight, the 3 mysterious women spun and spun and spun. The spinning wheels sang like gentle magic. By morning, heaps of flax had become shining skeins of the finest thread. The queen was astonished. She praised the girl and brought her another room even larger than the first. Again the girl despaired. Again the 3 old women came. Again, by the light of the moon, their wheels hummed until every strand of flax had been transformed. A third chamber followed, greater than all the rest. Yet before long, it too stood empty, filled only with perfect thread. The queen kept her promise. The prince married the girl, and soon the castle celebrated with music, laughter, and feasting that lasted long into the night. True to her word, the bride invited the 3 old women. When they entered the grand hall, dressed in their plain old clothes, the guests stared in surprise. The prince himself noticed their unusual appearances. "My dear," he asked gently, "who are these remarkable women?" "They are my beloved cousins," the bride replied warmly. "Please, honor them as our guests." The prince welcomed them to the table. Curiosity soon overcame him. He turned to the first woman. "How did your foot become so broad?" "From pressing the spinning treadle all my life," she answered. He looked at the second. "And your great lip?" "From constantly wetting the thread while spinning." Finally, he asked the third. "And your enormous thumb?" "From twisting thread day after day." The prince fell silent. He looked at his beautiful bride, then at the 3 women whose bodies had been shaped by years of endless labor. Taking his wife's hand, he smiled. "My beloved," he said, "from this day forward, you shall never spin again." And so she never touched a spinning wheel for the rest of her life. The three mysterious women had kept their promise, and the girl had kept hers. In return for kindness, gratitude, and loyalty, she found not only freedom from a task she dreaded, but also a life filled with happiness. And they lived happily ever after.